All right, we are here doing the training on packing for the service trip. We're going to discuss suggested personal packing items, what to bring, what not to bring, and then also talk about packing supplies and how to best do that. I have Troy with me today to give some examples for us as well, for those of you who are visual learners like me. So first we're going to talk about the personal packing list. Things that you're going to want to bring. First, you're going to want to bring some water shoes. We suggest something that has a back to it so it doesn't slip off your foot. Some of the excursions we go on require a water shoe. Flip-flops will not work. Something like this or like an aqua shoe would work as well. If you don't have those, some of the places we go to do have them for sale and you can purchase them there. These are Keens. What are some other brands that have good water shoes at the back? Chaco's probably has some. So that's one of the things that we suggest. The other thing that we suggest that you bring is smaller US bills, so 1s and 5s. In some of our excursions that we go, you'll have the opportunity to purchase things, souvenirs of your own, and if you have bigger bills, they don't always want to give change, so having smaller bills in exact amount is better. Fanny pack or money belt. We recommend bringing one of these per family to put your passport in while you're traveling. So what I like to do, just a little tip, is I like to wear a tank top underneath because Jamaica is a hotter climate. And then I would put it, pretend this is a tank top. It's cold here, so it's not a tank top. But I would put it underneath whatever my other shirt is, so it's not sweaty, sticky against your body, but still concealed and covered. So we recommend a money belt. Camera, you certainly can bring a camera if you like. If you're one of our photographers and you have a nice camera and that's one of your tasks that you're doing, that's great. Otherwise, your phone is fine. That would be adequate enough. Otherwise, it gets kind of difficult to have your camera while you're gardening or while you're doing projects. Personal water bottle. Some of the locations we go to are hot and we want you to stay hydrated. So we want everybody to bring a water bottle. This one is one that we like because it's insulated, so the water stays cold a little bit longer, and we like it because it has this. So it'll hook onto your backpack. You can use a carabiner, hook it onto your belt or something like that. Now, if you know that you drink a lot of water, you might want to bring 2 of these. We will have some extra water with us, but not enough to refill everybody's water bottle multiple times. And we will fill those up in the morning where we have good drinking water. At our locations where we're at, it's not always good drinking water, or we don't want to use the water that they end up purchasing. In some places, they have to purchase their water. So that's why we want to bring our own water in each time. We also recommend you bringing sunglasses or a hat. Again, the sun can be intense in some of the locations that we're at. So for added sun protection, a hat with a brim, sunglasses so that you can work better without having the sun in your eyes, that sort of thing. Sunscreen and beach towel. So we have a towel here that we recommend because of its compact size. So you know how big and bulky beach towels can be. These you can order online. It's kind of like the material of a chamois that you would use to clean off a car. This one has fuzzies all over it from the packaging, but it's very absorbent. It's not very big, but it's really absorbent. And we can give you links on where to get these. You can get them at different places, and they come in different sizes.
They're camping towels.
They're essentially a camping towel, and they fit in this little thing. So they dry quick, they're thin, they don't take up a lot of space. So when you're traveling compactly in a carry-on, they're really nice to have. Personal medication. If you are on medication and you need to bring that on your trip, it needs to be in the original bottle. So that you don't have issues getting it through customs. Same with supplements. If you're bringing any supplements, please keep them in the original bottle so they can see what they are, and then you shouldn't have any problems with that. Some common medicines that you may or may not need, like aspirin, Tylenol, Imodium, things like that, we will have with us in the first aid kit. So you don't need to plan for every possible scenario, but if it's something that you take regularly, please bring your own. Let's see. Oh, the other thing that I recommend, but this is a personal preference, is taking probiotics before you leave, while you're gone, and afterwards, so that you don't get traveler's tummy. It's no fun to be someplace else and you're down for a day because your stomach's upset. So typically what I do is I take probiotics and give them to my family a week in advance while we're gone, and then a week while we're back, once we're back, and that tends to help alleviate having the traveler's tummy. Moving on, personal toiletries. You are going to want to bring your own toothbrush, toothpaste, shampoo, conditioner, shaving items, and deodorant. Most of the places we stay will have bar soap for hands and showering, but anything else you're going to want to bring, in a little travel size container is most ideal. Another thing that we recommend is bringing antibacterial or hand sanitizer of some kind. I like to use essential oils, something that you can use to wipe your hands clean, because that's not always going to be available when we're eating or after we've done a project, something like that. If you are like me and wear glasses, you may want to bring backup glasses or extra sets of contacts in case something happens to the ones that you have. For women, for packing purposes for clothing, I suggest bringing one skirt. Some of the places we go to, we may have the opportunity to go to a worship service. If you choose to do that, traditionally women wear skirts or dresses. So I usually bring something that's like a t-shirt material that I can just wear a plain shirt with, and it's rather casual, doesn't wrinkle real bad, but you have that. For men, again, if you wish to go to something that's more formal, we've gone to concerts in the past, again, a worship service or something like that, or a place of business, men are expected to wear pants. So we recommend the pants like what Troy has here. These are, and women, they have them for women too, but these are zip-offs. So when you're leaving a climate like where we live in the Midwest and it's February, it's cold. So he wears these, and then on the plane he can just zip these off, and he's got shorts on, good to go. So it serves for great pants to wear on your travel days, but also if you need them if we're going any place that requires pants versus shorts. Some of the locations where we're driving are windy, and so if you tend to get car sick, you may want to bring some Dramamine for yourself. So that's another item that's kind of one of those optional items if you think that is something that you might need. Also, we suggest that you bring work gloves. These are garden type gloves that I have. We will be doing or have the opportunity to possibly do some gardening or some yard work. Do you have recommendations for people who might be doing more construction type things?
A leather glove. It can be thin leather, like the ones you find at Menards or Home Depot. They're like $8 to $12, but something that has a strap around the wrist usually works good, because as you get sweaty, you don't want to get stuff down inside the glove and then you get all itchy. So something that can be strapped around the wrist, but definitely a leather, not a rubber based for the construction type stuff.
Yep. And for those of us who'll be doing yard work, the rubber ones are great for those type of projects. I like to bring a small blanket. This is quite compact. It also can double as a towel if you don't want to purchase one of those towels. This one, I happened to get on a flight from a certain airline.
Oops.
But they're nice because you can use them as a beach towel if we do go to the beach. They're small, they're compact, you can use it on the plane. Sometimes the air conditioning gets cool in the buses, so I like to just keep it in my backpack. And so you might want to throw it on, we've been doing water activities and you get chilled. It's good to have one of those. So again, an optional item if you want it. One of the things that we suggest bringing to put a lot of these items in is a day pack of some sort. Some families will share, which is fine. This is a typical day pack that we use for our family. Something that's smaller, the drawstring ones will work as well. Something that you're going to want to put your lunches in, your water bottle, maybe your hat or your sunglasses, your work gloves, medicine if you have any, things like that. Things that you're going to take each day. Again, we talked about a carabiner. Carabiners are nice because then you can just attach things on the outside as well. And then speaking of our day packs and being out for the day, we will be, in many of our locations, we'll be bringing our own sandwiches and lunches during the day. So to be kind to our environment, we don't use plastic bags for our sandwiches each day. So we ask that each team member brings a sandwich container like this. This one you can tell we've taken on a past trip because it's got somebody's name on it here. And it also will keep your sandwich from getting squished in your backpack as well by having it in this container, and then we'll use this container the entire trip while we're there. The other thing that we recommend, we talked about the shoes, but also we recommend tennis shoes as well, especially if you're going to be doing any of the work projects outside. It's a good idea to have tennis shoes.
Closed-toed.
Yep, closed-toed. So if you don't want tennis shoes and you want to use a sandal for multi-purposes, these would be great. We also recommend one light long sleeve shirt. Something that is probably cotton-based is great. Sometimes it gets cool in the evenings and you might want something long sleeve, or if it's rainy, that sort of thing, depending upon the time of year that we're at different locations. So, but one long sleeve should probably be enough for the locations that we're currently going to. The rest can be sleeveless or short sleeve shirts. Okay, ladies, this one is for you. We suggest that you bring 3 sports bras. That way you can rinse them out because many of our locations are really hot and we're sweaty and we don't have air conditioning most of the time. So you can rinse them out, wash them, hang them to dry, and you can kind of rotate them through and always have a fresh, clean bra to wear each day. So that's just a recommendation that I have found works best for me. And also we ask that each participant bring a package of snacks. So it could be granola bars, it could be nuts, it could be dried fruit, something that we, so they come in usually a box of 12 or 20, something like that. That way each participant is bringing something that we know that you will like, but also we have a really nice variety of snacks for us for our days and our lunches. So if everybody could bring one of those, that would be
even
great.
The Oreos, or the Oreos in the 6 to a pack, or the crackers that are cheese or peanut butter 6 to a crack. And
the key is that we want them to be individually wrapped. So not like a box of crackers, but the individually wrapped ones, so everybody can just grab 3 or 4 snacks, put them in their backpack for the day, and then we can be on our way. Swimwear, we ask that you wear more modest swimwear. Tankinis are great. One-piece swimsuits are great for the ladies. And then shorts, t-shirts, and tank tops. We ask that you don't bring the string tank tops. Again, some of the cultures that we go to are more modest than we are here in the U.S., so we want to be respectful of that. I suggest that you bring a small notebook and a pen. You might need to take notes. You might need to check on something in the evening when we have internet. We might need to make a list for something for the future. And so it's handy if you have the pen and paper that you can just keep in your backpack. We recommend that you bring some sort of a bag for your dirty clothes. We do have laundry services available, but you also might want to keep your dirty clothes separate from your clean clothes. So I usually have just a separate cotton bag that I put dirty clothes in, and you might find that to be helpful. Also bringing a few plastic bags like you have at the grocery store or Target. If we are out and about and we're doing something and we are at the beach or doing something, some water activity, then you have a place to put your wet things and keep it separate from your dry stuff. We recommend that you take a photocopy of your passport and leave 1 copy at home and bring 1 copy with you and keep it somewhere separate from where you keep your passport. So our family, we have a folder. I put it in the back part of my backpack.
Yeah, it slides right in there.
Slide it in there and it just stays in there with us all the time. We have copies of all of our passports. In case something happens to your passport, it just makes it much easier for us to get that replacement at the embassy. What not to bring. No skimpy bikini swimsuits, please. Spaghetti strap tops, I've already mentioned those. Any clothing that advertises tobacco or alcohol, we ask that you not bring. Anything that you would be upset if it got paint on it. So don't bring your favorite, shirt or shorts. If you're going to be upset that, I'm not saying everybody's going to get paint on their clothes, but it could happen. And so if it's something that you don't want paint on or would be upset if it was ruined, please don't bring it.
Even if you're not the one painting, you just touched something or stood against something and you
happens.
got paint on it.
Or grease or whatever. Any kind of expensive jewelry. I don't even bring my wedding band anymore. I don't bring anything that even looks like it might have some value.
Watches, necklaces.
Yeah, you don't need it. If you are used to wearing, I know sometimes it feels weird if you don't have your ring on or something. For a while, I would just use a different ring that didn't have as much value to it, personal value. Part of it is we want to be respectful of the people that we're working with, and many of them may not be able to afford things like that, and for us to come in and be wearing those things just might change our potential relationship and interaction with them. So we just recommend that you not bring anything that looks like it might have some value to it. Laptops, iPods, and other electronics are not needed. Unless you need it for work or something, I would recommend leaving those electronic items at home. Then you don't have to worry about those things. We won't have, we'll have internet in the mornings and the evenings in most cases, not during the day. We really don't have a reason to. We will provide emergency contact numbers. The trip leaders will have a phone with us that will have a local number. The place where we stay, they'll have our itinerary and know how to reach us. So there will be ways that our families can reach us in the event of an emergency, but it's not needed for every individual to have a working phone all the time when we're at our locations.
The internet's not strong enough to do videos, streaming, uploading photos. It just is extremely slow. So you'll get frustrated if you try to upload 50 photos. It won't happen.
Yeah, that'll have to happen when I get home.
Yes.
You do not need any kind of converters for our location when we go to Jamaica anyways. For other locations, we'll have to let you know what you need. But for Jamaica, if you're going on a Jamaica trip, you do not need any converters. They have the same kind of outlets as we do here in the U.S. We do supply a very well-stocked first aid kit, so you don't need to bring, like I said earlier, a lot of the medicines that you might need if you get a headache or a Band-Aid or things like that. We will have a well-stocked first aid kit, and we keep that with us when we're traveling about, and we usually put somebody in charge of that each day, so that person knows where it is. So you just have to find that person and say, hey, I need something out of the first aid kit. We'll also provide bug spray, so not every individual needs to bring bug spray, and name tags. A couple just recommendations for tips for packing. Pack lighter colored clothing. It does not absorb the sun and the heat, and in some of our locations it can be pretty intense, that sun, so lighter colors is better. Most of our locations we do have laundry services available, so keep that in mind that midweek you can get some of your clothes laundered, so you don't have to bring separate things for each day. And rolling your clothes tends to work better when packing to conserve space rather than folding clothes.
Really tight.
Yeah.
As tight as you can get it to roll. All your shirts, all your pants, they pack better, they're much tighter, and it just saves space so you can get more in.
Yep. One of the things that we recommend you bring is a bag for dirty clothes to keep your bag separate from your clean clothes. This is the one that we do use for our family. It's a larger one, hence we've had multiple people in our family traveling at a time. The other thing that's nice, and again optional, you don't have to go out and purchase these, but if you are a traveler, you might want to consider these e-bags. They come in different colors and they come in different styles and sizes. What's nice about them is that because of the mesh, they're see-through, so you can see what you're grabbing. And I tend to organize mine by categories. So I'll use one this size for socks and underwear, bras, things like that. I will use one this size for my bottoms, shorts and pants. I'll use one this size for my tops. The reason they're nice is, one, it's easier to pack more into your suitcase. You roll your clothing and then line them up and put them in here. But also it's a good way to organize. So when you're living out of a suitcase, you know how sometimes it just gets to be a mess because everything gets unfolded. Things just stay more organized. You just grab, I need one bottom, one top, and my undergarments. And it's just an easier way to organize them as well. So it might be something you want to consider. These are called e-bags. They're also called packing cubes, and they have nice little handles. So it's up to you if you want to purchase these. We find them really handy. We use them quite a bit, but we also travel quite a bit as well.
And we color coded for family members, so when you take the bags out and lay them on the bed, you know whose is whose.
Yep. Green is mine, blue is his, orange is, one of the kids, that sort of thing. So that is the other nice thing about it, is even though you're putting all of your luggage in one suitcase, you can easily, when you get there, distribute everybody's personal items quickly. If you are somebody who likes to use sunscreen on a daily basis, please bring your own. We will have some as backup, but not enough for everybody every day. So that is it for the personal packing list. Now we're going to move on to packing the supplies that we're bringing to donate. So we have a few tips for that as well. If you received some items that were brand new, we ask that you take off price tags and any kind of packaging like that. When we go through customs in some of these countries, we don't want it to look like we might be selling it when we get there, which we're not. We're donating it. So it's easier if you take all those price tags and the packaging off of it so that it doesn't look like you're going to sell it once you get there. Any clothing items that you get donated, it would really be helpful to the places we're donating it if you launder them first, so then they don't have to. Because some of the locations we're going to, water is in short supply, and if we can take that step and launder new clothing items before we get there, that's just one thing that they don't have to do, and it saves on their water usage as well.
And it forces you to take the tags off.
That too. When packing your suitcases with your supplies, you're going to want to balance bulky, lighter items with heavy items. So be mindful of that. Most the airlines, the maximum weight that you can have without paying extra, and so please check your airline, is 50 pounds. So he is a master at packing because he's done a lot of it. So make sure that you're mindful of that. What is lighter and bulky versus what's heavy, and use a combination of those things in your suitcase. When we're talking about luggage, one thing that you may want to keep in mind for supplies is bringing luggage that can nest inside of each other. So as you can see here, we have a larger suitcase, and then we have a smaller suitcase within it. And even inside of that, you can put your carry-on. So if you are traveling back and you want to bring your luggage with you, instead of having 2 checked bags and a carry-on, you can just have 1 checked bag. The other thing that we want to keep in mind is that you have some sort of a ribbon on it that identifies it as your bag. The uglier and more unique the ribbon, the better, so then other passengers aren't accidentally grabbing your suitcase and going off with it. There are a lot of black suitcases when you get to baggage claim. The other item that you want to make sure is that you have an appropriate bag tag on your bag. So I'm going to have Troy talk about what's a good bag tag.
So the best ones are ones that are soft rubber and they're very flexible. You don't want the hard plastic ones, especially if you leave a cold climate. They'll get tossed around and broken on the way. So these are very durable, cold, hot. All you do is stick your business card inside there, and that serves as well, or just a blank piece of paper and write on it.
Moving on, if you are having liquid items donated, sometimes we're asked to bring medical supplies or shampoo or liquid items like that. We recommend that you put them in gallon Ziploc bags. Inevitably, I would say at least one of our gallon bags ends up having stuff in it that has leaked out, and then at least it's not all over everything. It's been contained and easily washed. So take those bottles, make sure you crank them that they're closed all the way. But because of the pressure change in the plane, sometimes it doesn't matter. And this will save you a lot of cleanup if you put your liquids in this bag before putting them in your checked luggage.
And your bag might be the one on the bottom of the plane with 50 bags on top of it, so they get squished and squeeze out very easily. So it's just an easy protection against getting this liquid all over the bag in the inside.
Lithium batteries need to be removed and cannot be in your checked luggage. Those need to be in your carry-on. So if we're asked to bring, especially tool items, I know is when it's come up before, some of them do have lithium batteries. Make sure you're removing those and putting those in your carry-on, not in your checked luggage. Also, breakable items. If we're asked to bring something that might be breakable, sometimes we bring light bulbs. That's one thing that we've brought before. Pack them in the middle of your suitcase so that they have a lot of cush and buffer all around it. That will help it get there in one piece.
Well, just keep in mind when you drop your bag at the counter, it goes through belts and pulleys and gets kicked out, and then it gets thrown in a cart where it could be at the bottom, and then it goes up the belt,
literally.
and then it goes into the airplane, and they fall off the belt, and they could be dropped. So don't buy expensive luggage. Go to Goodwill, find the bigger size, smaller size if you can. Don't go out and buy a brand new nice set of expensive luggage because it will get damaged.
Mm-hmm. And for those of you who, we also talked about those of you who pay for your luggage, if you don't want to pay to bring an empty suitcase back and you don't want that suitcase back, we can make other arrangements. Some of the places we go love to keep them for storage, or somebody else who doesn't have to pay for the luggage might be able to bring back the luggage for you. So talk to the team about that, and we'll see if there's anything we can do around that and have that knowledge as well. So I think that's it as far as packing, and we will follow up and answer any questions when we, after you viewed this video and we have a meeting, we will be able to answer any questions you may have. Happy packing!